Exactly 6 p.m. in Cairo. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's time to look up at the news bulletin from Channel 2. I'm Hanan Al-Khoulia, and we start right away with the headlines. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli holds press conference after inspecting development projects in Alexandria. Foreign Minister Abdelati to participate in ministerial meeting of European Union and Southern Mediterranean countries in Brussels. And 28 Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks in Gaza as Israeli new plans for aid during possible truce or Islam. The news in full. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said that the ongoing development projects at Alexandria Governorate across different sectors aim at enhancing the city's assets as a distinguished economic and touristic destination. Addressing a press conference after inspecting a number of development and service projects in Alexandria Governorate, the Prime Minister said that today Alexandria is witnessing new urban transformation through projects that have been earlier launched in past years. Madbouli also added that these projects started with new urban cities developing slums and insecure areas, including roads, main access, sanitary and industrial drainage, in addition to separation of rainwater project in order to decrease the impacts of climate change on Alexandria, electricity projects, renewable energy, sea, barracks, and other projects. The Prime Minister's inspection tour in Alexandria began with a visit to the General Bureau of the Governorate, where the pack of the execution of under development projects was reviewed at a meeting with its governor, along with the Minister of Housing and Urban Communities, Sharif El-Sherbini. The tour aims at following up at the pack of work in different projects that address cities and citizens' needs in order to speed up finishing them and start their operation. The governor said that 63 projects were implemented with the cost of £90.5 billion, while other 31 projects are currently under implementation. Most of these projects are in housing, transportation, roads, grid, development, and he added that the new projects are coordinated with international donors in fields of education, health, and infrastructure. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and Expatriates Affairs, Badr Abdelati headed to Brussels on Monday to participate in the 5th ministerial meeting of the EU and Southern Mediterranean countries. The meeting comes in the framework of the consultations over the Mediterranean Pact that aims to foster greater cooperation between the European Union and the Mediterranean countries. The launch is scheduled before the end of this year. Moving on to the development of the Palestinian issue, as top Palestinian and Israeli diplomats were due to attend the meeting in Brussels between the EU and its southern neighbors on Monday. The Ramallah-based Palestinian Authority confirmed that the attendance of Palestinian Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Verzan Agapatian Shaheen. The Palestinian Ministry of Foreign Affairs added that Shaheen would give a speech focusing on the suffering of the Palestinian people under the ongoing war of extirpation and displacement in the Gaza Strip, the systematic starvation policy practiced by the occupying state, and the financial blockade imposed on the Palestinian government. It said also that it would address the situation in the occupied West Bank, where Israeli settler and troops violence is surging, and Israel is waging a military operation that has displaced tens of thousands of Palestinians in the north since January. 28 Palestinians were killed in Israeli bombardment across the Gaza Strip since Monday dawn as Israeli occupation army intensified aggression amid week-long ceasefire talks in Qatar. 10 Palestinians were killed in 3 separate airstrikes in various parts of the northern Gaza city, while 12 more people were killed in the attacks on the southern city of Khan Younis on Sunday. Israeli airstrikes killed 43 Palestinians, 11 of them were in the market in Gaza City, and 10, including 8 children, were at a water distribution point in the Nusayrat refugee camp in central Gaza. Israel's military acknowledged Sunday attacks, saying that in a statement that its air forces struck more than 150 targets throughout the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the UNRWA Agency for Palestinian Refugees said that an Israeli plan to move Gazans into a so-called humanitarian city would de facto create massive construction and concentration camps at the Gaza Strip's southern border. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said that he unveiled the plan last Monday as indirect talks are held in Doha between negotiators from Israel and the Palestinian Hamas group in search for a ceasefire in 21 months of devastating war in Gaza. Similar to the controversial U.S.-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the Israeli plan for humanitarian city invasions building from scratch a closed zone in Rafah where aid is distributed during a potential 60-day ceasefire. The talks were stalled on Sunday with Hamas saying that the flow of aid was one of the sticking points. And the Britain's Minister for the Middle East and the North Africa, Hamish Falconer, said that he's appalled by the Israeli idea of a humanitarian city, adding that the Palestinian territory must not be reduced and civilians must be able to return to their communities. Israel's army said Monday it has struck military tanks in southern Syria as the Syrian government forces were sent to calm down tribal clashes there. Earlier, Syrian Defense Ministry said that it began sending forces to the southern city of Suwaida following deadly clashes between Druze elements and between tribesmen that killed 30 people. An Interior Ministry statement said that the armed clashes broke out between local military groups and clans against backdrops of the accumulated tensions over previous periods. Moving on to the developments in Iran, as Iran's foreign ministry spokesman said on Monday that Tehran will react to any reimposition of United Nations sanctions over its nuclear program. Foreign ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai told a press conference that the threat to use the snapback mechanism lacks legal and political basis and will be met with an appropriate and appropriate response from Iran. Baghai explained that the European parties who are constantly trying to use this mechanism as a tool have themselves committed gross violations of their obligations under the deal. And Israel's air aggression against Iran in June held Iran to hold fresh talks on a new nuclear program and deal with the U.S. The snapback mechanism is a process that would reimpose UN sanctions on Tehran under a 2015 nuclear deal and lifted the measures in return for restrictions on Iran's nuclear program. U.S. Special Envoy Keith Kellogg arrived in Kiev Monday for defense talks after U.S. President Donald Trump announced that new Patriot air defense systems supplies to Ukraine. Trump said that the United States would be reimbursed for their cost by the European Union. Washington had earlier this month said it would pause some arms deliveries to Kiev, but Trump has just changed tack and criticizing Russian President Vladimir Putin for intensifying attacks as U.S.-led PAC talks stall. Kellogg's visit comes as U.S. President Donald Trump is set to meet with NATO's Secretary General Mark Rutte in Washington later on Monday. For his part, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that the fact remains that the supply of weapons, ammunition and military equipment for the United States continued and continues to Ukraine. Chief of the General Authority for Investment and Free Zones, Hussam Haiba, told that the authority made a thorough study of the pioneering countries in the three exportation of textiles of the trademark needs in this sector. Haiba expected that Egypt would be a regional hub for the manufacturing and trading of textiles in the Mediterranean Sea region in 2 years. Gafi chief made 3 remarks in the meeting with the deputy chairman of the global textiles company located in Hong Kong, which plans to create a factory in Egypt in line with the free zone system. And from our economic and business news, Egypt's Boursa closed higher today amid purchases by local corporations and local Arab and foreign investors against sell-offs by Arab and foreign corporations and local investors. The market capital of listed companies added 30 billion Egyptian pounds, crossing 2.3 trillion pounds at the end of an average transactions of 28.6 billion. The benchmark index EGX 30 rose to 2% above the 33,727 point mark. The equal weighted indices EGX 70 and EGX 100 climbed between 0.9 and 1% respectively. The European Union's trade chief said today that the bloc still hopes to strike a deal with the United States despite U.S. President Donald Trump's ramped-up threat of 30% tariffs. The U.S. leader threw a month of painstaking talks into the history of Saturday by announcing he would hammer the bloc with the sweeping tariffs if no agreement is reached by the 1st of August. Heading into Brussels, talks with European Union trade ministers, the bloc's trade chief said that despite Trump's latest threat, he felt Washington was ready to continue negotiating, asserting that reaching a deal remained the priority. And moving on to the amazing world of sports, as Carl Palmer produced the scintillating first half master classes as Chelsea or the Blues demolished a flat PSG of Paris Saint-Germain 3-0 to win a one-sided Club World Cup final at New Jersey's MetLife Stadium overnight. The English attacking midfielder scored twice and provided an assist for João Pedro in a devastating display in the revamped tournaments decided that they left the European and French champions, who finished with 10 men. She shocked Chelsea won also the 2021 Club World Cup in its previous format. And well, by this, ladies and gentlemen, come to the end of our news bulletin for now. Many thanks for watching, and from myself, Hanan Al-Khul. أهلا بكم مشاهدينا وتتابعون الآن النشرة الجوية، نستعرض فيها أهم الأخبار الجوية ودرجات الحرارة أنحاء الجمهورية. الثلاثاء 25 35، الأربعاء 25 37، الخميس 26 38، الثلاثاء 30 39، الأربعاء 28 39، الخميس 28 36. الثلاثاء 27 41، الأربعاء 26 41، الخميس 26 42. القاهرة 25 35، العاصمة الإدارية 24 36، الإسكندرية 22 32، العالمية 22 31، دمياط 24 32، بورسعيد 26 34، العريش 23 34، رفح 22 34، الإسماعيلية 24 37، السويس 24 37، مطروح 22 30، وادي النطرون 23 36، منصورة 24 35، طنطا 24 35، دمنهور 23 34، سانت كاترين 17 32، الغردقة 29 36، شرم الشيخ 30 39، الفيوم 24 36، المنيا 23 38، أسيوط 24 39، سوهاج 25 40، قنا 26 40، الأقصر 27 41، الوادي الجديد 25 40، أسوان 28 41، حلايب 29 36، شلاتين 28 41، أبو رماد 28 39، رأس حضربة 29 36.